Hello everybody, back here again for another vlog a day. Today is Monday the 12th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got up this morning way earlier than I wanted to, but got up and around, dogs got me up. Apparently they decided it was time to be moving. So got them out, basically get them chilled out there, rotated back in, let the aggressive one act out also, and then I went ahead and put on my running gear instead of jumping in the hot tub, because I wanted to be able to go ahead and get my run over with before another dog was showing up and having to deal with giving dogs back and dropping dogs off and all kinds of stuff. So went ahead, I went for a quick run. It was raining this morning, not hard, but enough to annoy you when you're running. So being how I wanted to get in and out and run real quick, so I get back and my wife get off to work while she stayed with the dogs. I kept it real short, I don't know, less than 2 miles. But I got my run in, got back to the house, chilled out there for a little bit. Wife headed off to work, and then I got all the rest of the dogs fed, and then I spent musical dogs all day, moving the dogs around here and there and letting them in and out. And it was raining off and on most of the day, and a couple times raining really hard, like really raining, which we need because we've had one of the driest like springs in like forever and ever. So definitely the driest it's been since I've lived here. So, and I've been here, I don't know, 10 years or so, 9-10 years, something like that. But it is definitely needed, so not complaining about it at all. But dogs weren't out playing, so they're getting more pinned up, they're getting more energy, which means more likely to have something pop off. So I got to keep an extra eye on them because they're not getting to play a lot of chase and run around and play fetch and all that stuff and wear themselves out. So definitely dealing with that. Plus the stress, the lightning storms and rainstorms and stuff, the dogs get more stressed out, so that's even more problems to the whole scenario. But it is what it is. So had another dog getting dropped off today, supposed to be here about noon, ended up getting pushed back to about 1:30, which isn't the end of the world, it just kind of sucks. So dog got here, I've watched it numerous times before. It's super high energy, neurotic, pit bull, beagle, I think, and chihuahua mix. I know it's pit bull and chihuahua, I'm not sure, I think it might be beagle, but holy crap, just a nervous dog to the point to actually send anxiety medication with the dog to kind of like a downer to help keep the dog calmer. So yeah, it is what it is. But got that done, got him outside, introduced the rest of the dogs to him one by one. All went splendid. Of course, the aggressive dog doesn't get to meet nobody. So, but the dogs that are here are getting on great, except for the one, which was awesome. That dog went home, supposed to go home about 5 tonight. Got home, they got home early, so they picked up about 3:30, I think it was. So that handoff went smoothly. It was raining both times pretty hard, so we actually did the handoff through the garage, which often makes it easier to have more chance to stand there and talk and figure what's going on and not be out in the rain, because my little front porch is not very big, so you get wet out there. So kind of is what it is. But yeah, that one went home, which it was amazing. Legitimately, even though they hadn't seen the dog was put away the whole time. It was either outside when they were inside or inside when they're outside, and just even when they're all inside together, she was back in an office and was never near each other. I shit you not, I got back in the house after getting rid of that dog. Dog left, I let him back, basically brought the small pack back together again, so I had to separate out while I was doing it. And 5 minutes later, energy was different in the house. Like legitimately, it was just less on edge. You could taste the difference, like you could see the difference, like you could feel the difference. It was just absolutely insane how much different that really was, with that concept of how quickly once that negative energy goes away. And part of it might have been me, I'm not gonna lie. Part of it might have been my own energy that I was spewing out there of concern and fear that the dogs aren't picking up on either. Very good likely, but holy crap, it was impressive. Yeah. So but yeah, got rid of that dog. Everything else kind of settled down a little bit. Hung out and just chilled out for the rest of the day. Wife headed home from work. I got a call from my chiropractor. He's got board meetings or something. Or he's got to take a board test or something. I don't know, some bullshit tomorrow. So somehow or another, they apparently they let him know this a day before it happens, which is bullshit. They just didn't tell me. So my appointment with her tomorrow is needed to be pushed back. They wanted to push it back to like Wednesday, Thursday. I'm like, well, Wednesday, Friday, I'm busy. Actually, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm busy. I can't get out. So that was my only opportunity this week, was Tuesday. And he's like, okay, let's make it for next Tuesday. So in that whole process of doing that, I was trying to figure out who was going where and what. with the dogs, I'd asked my wife, because I had another meet and greet scheduled for this evening that would be here tomorrow also, and I asked her if it was possible if she could come home and work from the house for maybe 2 hours, give her half an hour to drive up to the appointment, half an hour appointment, half an hour drive back, an hour and a half, so 2 hours max for her to be gone, to be here at the house. And she said she could, and then I found out my appointment got moved anyway, so it did not matter. And then as we were waiting around for her to get home from work, which we had a meet and greet scheduled for 6:30, and she was going to be home by 6:30 so she could keep the dogs from barking while I did the meet and greet. The person reached out about 4 o'clock and had asked if they could move up the meet and greet to 5 instead of 6:30, which I believe they picked the 6:30 to begin with, so who the hell knows. But I was like, okay, cool. So I said, yeah, I can do that. And I said, the only thing is, I've got our dogs here that without my wife here to help hang out with them, they might bark and stuff and whatnot. And I'm like, as long as you're cool with that, I'm cool with that. And he's like, yeah, I'm good with that. So he showed up. I went ahead and reached out to my wife, told her, hey, I got meet and greets going off early, so no problems at all. You can continue working if you work late or whatever. You don't have to rush. You don't have to be home by 6:30. So, and she was like, didn't respond at all, which I didn't think much about it, because often she doesn't respond to my text. So I have no idea if they go through or not, but it is what it is. So I went ahead, continued on what I was doing, sent her another just dumb text about something else going on. Dude rolled up, did the whole nice text ahead like 3 minutes out with his ETA and all that stuff, which was awesome. Put their dogs up, got them all settled, pulled all my curtains. I actually run like double curtains in my house because I'm a weirdo. I over plan for shit. So I installed outside giant heavy duty canvas curtains on the outside of my house towards the backyard. That way the dogs inside can't see the curtains. Then I install those curtains on the inside, but the dogs outside can't see the dogs inside. Now, technically, both outside and inside dogs both go poke their head behind the curtain. They will see each other. But often, the new dogs in meet and greets, they don't know there's dogs out there or don't care that much. So it makes life a whole lot easier in the process. So, but went ahead, he got here, showed up with a unneutered male golden retriever that on the paperwork says it's neutered, which on the app, which I'm like, oh, that's a sign that I probably would not have taken right now with everything else going on. And since I just got rid of the ornery of the batch, it's actually a lot less ornery around here since the aggressive one went home. But you just seems dumb to lie about that shit. The dog was showing a few signs I wasn't really super excited about, and a lot of the red flags and the way it was described online didn't seem wonderful either. So, but I was like, okay. So we went ahead, we did a meet and greet, and I was like, yeah, I can probably watch the dog, especially since I don't have to go tomorrow to the chiropractor. I'll be here. So I went ahead and booked on my end, explained to them how the booking works in case I don't use Rover much, which I know they kind of do. And they said, yeah, I'll go home and I'll find out the exact time for drop off tomorrow, and I'll text you. I'll accept the booking and give you that time. I said, absolutely. Well, I can work at pretty much any time you want to drop off. You have 9 down as your drop off time. But I can work at pretty much any time you want, as long as you give me a heads up. And he's like, okay. Left, and then didn't hear from the dude. Didn't book it, did nothing. And this starts like the tomorrow morning. I was like, well, that's fucking weird. So let it go. Sent him a reminder text a little bit later saying the fact that, hey, don't forget, this is not finished. You have to finish it on your end. Didn't hear from the dude. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just wait. And then at some point I will go in and I'll archive it. And then at 7 o'clock in the morning or whatever, he will try and book it. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm booked up, dude. Like, you can't do this shit. We talked about this fact of what's going on. And your lack of planning is not make it my emergency. So not watching that dog apparently, which is fine with me. I don't care. So yeah, that one's done. I had another lady who wanted to do a meet and greet for Sunday. And I don't usually do meet and greets on weekends because shit comes up and it becomes a pain in the ass. And her description of her dogs are fucking awful. The other setters are describing them as counter surfers, will steal any food anywhere in your house. They know how to open doorknobs. They're escape artists. They're da-da-da. And a lot of them are like, I know, I'm definitely not doing it. So that's why I could do 3:30 and try it, see how the dogs behave. And maybe these were old reviews and the dogs would calm down some, whatever, and all that fun stuff. And they're like, well, no, I don't want to do it exactly at 1 o'clock on Sunday. I said, no, I'm not doing it at 1. Like, I was being kind doing it at 3:30, you know, when whatnot. I'm like, I usually do meet and greets on weekends because shit always seems to come up. And then I wasted my day waiting around for somebody who they got busy and they don't care and I don't get paid. So, and I kind of was hoping that's what they would say. So they said they'd reach out when they had a free day during the week and try and schedule a meet and greet. But I think I'm probably just going to pass this one off because
even the response to my answers, they just seem like, I don't know, they seem like the entitled owners that think their dogs shit don't stink and their dogs are untrained and just maniacs on so many levels. So, and the one thing I would love to have seen is how do they apply to owners and setters? How do the owners of these dogs, how do they leave feedback on the dog setters? Because that will sometimes come out in your behavior, and you act like shit. You'll leave bad reviews for you when your dogs are the ones being the shitheads. So probably is going to go ahead and go back in and block them. And just, it already sounds like a pain. I even talking to my wife, and I'm like, the one thing that does suck is a long stay they need them watched for, and it's over a holiday, and I doubled my holiday rates. So I'm like, shit, yeah, this would be awesome. Which, like, when you already have an increased holiday rate, but I doubled it, so now it's like a lot of money, and yeah, it makes life a little easier. But we'll see what happens with that whole thing. So, but yeah, from there, wife finally got home from work and chilled out there. We talked about what we're gonna do for dinner. We decided on fish and rice. So we went and grabbed some salmon, got some rice cooking in the rice cooker, and we chilled out, waited for that to get done, watched a little bit of TV. Finally got done, had for dinner, watched Arrested Development, just like we always have like a dinner show we watch during dinner. And right now it's Arrested Development. And it's campy as shit and not that well written, but it's pretty good. So it's definitely, we've watched a whole lot worse, let's put it that way. So yeah, we chilled out there and then headed back outside. The dogs, all the dogs I have right now are getting along splendidly well. Holy crap, it's so good. The only thing we get every once in a while, like the little Saki, the little pit bull mix, she gets a little bit loud and annoying when she plays. She gets a little carried away, but overall, absolutely splendid. They're doing so well. So yeah, came time for bed. Got everybody found a spot and got it all put away. Got myself a little snack. Went in and watched a little Blue Bloods myself. Wife did not want to watch it. It was too late, and wrapped it up and called it a day. So that's all I got for now. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.